Nevada, the great silver state and the gold. New tales of Nevada, the stories, people working hard to make a home. Old tales of Nevada.
Hello everybody, welcome to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. We have a great show for you today. We're going to go around the world with 80 movies. And how are we going to do that? Well, we'll tell you all about it right after this message.
Hey everybody, Dave Asher here down at the Nevada Marketplace in the Reno Town Mall. You know, we all spend a lot of money during the holiday season. Please, this year, shop with Nevada-based locally owned businesses as much as possible. Here at the Nevada Marketplace, we support over 250 local merchants. You're sure to find a perfect gift for everyone on your list. We're open 7 days a week with easy parking and it's warm inside. We're at the corner of Peckham and Virginia. Go to buynevadafirst.com and keep Reno local.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Paula. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antique Show, now at the Reno Sparks Convention Center.
We also want you to know about our everyday location at Somewhere in Time, Antique Antiques, Space 46.
You'll find items from local artists, retro, mid-century, rustic, sports, collectibles, antiques, and much more.
You'll find Nevada art, glass, Native American jewelry, and baskets, unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques at Somewhere in Time, Dealer 46.
Welcome everybody to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. I'm John O'Brien, the host of the show. And with me as usual, Roy Marshall, our executive producer. Roy, welcome to the show this week. You're looking good today. You're colorful today. That's really good.
Well, I only have one more appointment at the dentist. So
that's good.
I'll be in great shape.
Oh, that always makes the day better, right? Yeah. Our special guest today is Robin Holabird, and she is a real important person here in Northern Nevada, so we'd like to welcome Robin to our show, probably our third show with you.
I think so, and yes, Roy and I got the message about being colorful today. He's got purple pants, I have a purple top.
Yeah,
Isn't
I
that
went
great?
blue today. I went
see,
blue.
Didn't get that memo.
No, I wish somebody would have called.
That's tomorrow.
Oh, that's tomorrow. Okay.
You can come tomorrow.
Okay, very good. We'll do another one tomorrow, right? Okay. Great to have you on the show. We got a great conversation to look forward to because of your new book, which is called Around the World in 80 Movies, and how that connects to Nevada and why it's good for us to read that book. So look forward to the conversation. But before we get to you, Robin, we always go to you, Roy, because you, Roy, for the last 10 years has promoted the show and provided us the resources to do the show. So we like to have him tell us why we do the show. Go ahead.
You betcha. Well, we consider Nevada to be a pretty darn important state, and not too many people know why.
That's right.
But after the Civil War, the country was totally broke, owed more than what we were worth to France, Germany, and England. Mm-hmm. And if it wouldn't have been for the miner boys up at the Comstock and a few other charitable people, we would be France, Germany, and England instead of America.
That's very true.
So we can be thankful for that, for this state, and also because the dollar just came around during this period of the golden age of Nevada, the silver dollar from the Comstock, and that became the dollar, that became the major monetary unit throughout the world.
Absolutely.
So we've got some real importance here.
Absolutely. It all started up here in Northern Nevada, in fact, right? So that's a great history that we focus on with the show, both past, present, future, actually, because there's people making history as we speak, like Robin right here. But you also have some other great interest up there at the Comstock. You're actually a miner, an explorer.
Well, we found a very large deposit of palladium.
Yeah.
Platinum.
Yeah.
Which is indicating that we have the Big Bonanza ore body continuing from its original location all the way over to the Citro, where we found the same rock units that were originally mapped at the Ophir in 1865.
Yeah, pretty good. It's north. It's gone further north. The old miners, they started to go east, and they lost the lode.
They went north, and then they went down, and they went right into water.
Yeah, they went into water.
Mackay gave up in 1885.
Yeah, so there are possibilities there that people have not known about. We're working with the University of Nevada, Reno, to do a survey up there with a donation from you, Roy, for what they call a magnetometer, which flies on a drone. And it provides some great detail as to what's under the ground. And we're having some positive results already as the results come back to us, you know. So a lot of great things happening up there on the Comstock, plus your hotel.
Yeah, you guys are making the hotel work up there for a change.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't put it up there for total charity. But
Yeah, we're trying to get it away from being a charity to
that's
being a little
That's a
bit
good
profitable,
idea, yeah.
right? So
Why
things are
not?
working well. Though.
you betcha.
In fact, that we have a lot of weddings and special events going on up there on a regular basis, and we're open all winter long now. We're not closing for the winter, and so you can come up there. We have a bar. We have some great rooms. We're providing food service. So lots of great reasons to come to the Comstock. You got to go up there, Robin.
Next time we get a movie, it needs to go there.
That's right.
There you go.
So what's the reservation number up there? Remember?
847-4484.
There you go. Call
Take your
today.
sweetie up there. We've got an indoor pool too.
Absolutely.
And whirlpool suites.
Yeah, jacuzzis.
Go on a honeymoon.
Absolutely. It's a great place to go for a romantic overnight
There you
stay.
go.
There you go. So a lot of great things. So Robin, we want to get back to you. You're a woman of many talents, actually.
Why, thank you.
I mean, you're recently an author.
Yes.
This is your second
second book, yeah.
It's entitled Around the World in 80 Movies, but you did one previously to that. And we'll get into all that, but give us a little history about yourself. When did you come to Nevada? Where'd you come from? What kind of activities were you involved with? Refresh our memories on all of that for us.
I came to Nevada in 1976, so that makes it a while now.
Yeah.
Before that, like many people from Nevada now, I grew up in California primarily.
Oh, okay.
Southern California,
So-
and then Humboldt State. Came down from Humboldt State. Wow, was Nevada wonderful. Humboldt County is beautiful in California, not ours, California's, but there's a lot of fog and rain. Came into Reno and it's wonderful with the sun, and I love the seasons we have here. I thought maybe we'd stay for a couple of years. I came down with my husband who had a mining job, and you know those don't always last a long time.
Right, very itinerant.
But obviously I was a little bit incorrect since that was over 40 years ago.
Here you go. Yeah, here ever
And,
since.
I had a degree in journalism, so I did some writing, entertainment writing around town, and then eventually gravitated into government work, public relations, using a journalism skill, and that led to the Film Commission.
The
Not
Film
everybody
Commission.
understands or knows what a film commission is, but most states, many cities and counties have them. They're a government entity that promotes using your region's locations and services for the film industry. So get the movie to use your location. Either
Right.
set the movie there or just use it because it looks right.
Yeah.
But hire a bunch of people when you do it. It's
Sure.
economic development.
Right, it's economic impacts
Yeah.
for sure.
It can be tourism, but I worked out of economic development, and that was the idea. When I was working there, every year about $100 million in revenue came in from the film industry
kidding,
to
really?
Nevada.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a viable resource for economic
She was hitting
development.
the newspapers a whole lot during that period of time.
Yeah.
too. I
Yeah.
remember.
We were pretty,
You guys were on publicity.
Yeah, for
definitely
sure.
active. Now, the market has changed a lot. Things are slower in Nevada than they used to be. And part of that is because of the way incentive programs have worked in other states and that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
they really are giving away the farm in some of the states. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
we-
know, I heard Texas and
We never
southern
did that.
states.
And at this point, we don't really have an office in Reno promoting our area. There is a state film commission, and you'll still see Nevada, particularly Las Vegas.
Yeah.
in
What were
different
some of the movies that you were involved with that we might relate to?
Well, in the big hits, Sister Act was big. That was from the 90s with
And
Whoopi
that was right
Goldberg.
here in Reno, right?
Yeah,
uh-huh.
that brought Maggie Smith, in Downton Abbey here
Yeah.
to Reno, and so it's kind of hard to imagine her in Reno, but there she was. Love Ranch was the last movie I
Okay.
worked on, and that was a little over 10 years ago.
Okay.
That was a retelling, and not using the same names, of the Mustang Ranch brothel and murder situation with Joe Pesci and Helen Mirren.
Did
in
they
that
shoot on location over at the Mustang Ranch?
little
or-
bit.
They did, huh?
That was it was a good movie.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of it had to film in New Mexico because of incentives, but they did actually come here. They were never planning to shoot here. That's why you have a film commission. because I convinced them that, well, actually, you should film some of it here.
Some of it, yeah.
And they did. And it's been fun because I've kept in touch with some of the filmmakers who are mentioned in my book. So that was a fun one. I worked with Clint Eastwood on Pink Cadillac. He was great to work with, as professional as you would expect.
Where was that filmed?
Pink Cadillac all around Reno, in Hazen as well. For a while,
Hazen, sure.
Hazen was a pretty hot place to do some filming.
Yeah, that's right there going towards Fallon, right?
Yeah, we did a Val Kilmer movie out that way.
Sure.
And it just has a great look, a special character.
It's a railroad town.
Yeah, it's an old railroad town. Everything comes together right there, it seems like,
Yeah, especially for road pictures and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I did a movie called Hard 8 from the director P.T. Anderson, who since that time has, 8 or 9 Oscar nominations. He's considered one of the best directors working today, as well as a great screenwriter. He did There Will Be Blood. We tried to do it in Nevada, but it went to Texas. These things happen. So those are some of the movies. And
that's great. That's great. So that ended in 2008 or so when they shut down the office up here in northern Nevada and just left it down there in Vegas. So you had to move on to other interests.
I retired. I had over 30 years in the system, so it was fine to retire.
Oh, sure.
But because of the economic downturn and some hiring limitations, they didn't fill the office here.
Sure.
And yes, I moved on to doing some of the things that a good retired person does, which means I've been busier than I ever was. I'm trying to figure out how I ever fit that work thing into my schedule. But one of the things I love to do is travel, both here in Nevada and all over the world. So within the first few years, I was off in Africa, I was in China, I was in Patagonia, and I was in Tonopah as well.
There you go. You got to have it all, right?
Yeah, get everything you can.
Well, Nevada's a great state to travel to and around, that's for sure. But you, from those experiences, were able to start a blog, right? You have a blog on the internet there, and you do a show over at KUNR, right?
Yes, I have a weekly movie review show. It's on every Friday, and you can find it online to get a backlog of the reviews. But I've been doing that since the 1980s.
Oh, you have?
So it's a pretty long term.
Wow, that's a long time on KUNR.
Yes.
No kidding. What? Now tell us what time it's on. When does it run?
I think it's in the afternoon during Terry Gross's show, and I'm not sure because I pre-record it so I don't listen to myself.
Okay. So they put it where they need it, right? Yeah. It's flexible. Yeah. That's good. So and then you started to feel that you needed to put things down on paper, right?
Well, what happened was back in 2001, I was going to Manhattan. This was in late September of 2001. Well, guess what had just happened? And it was actually a business trip with Nevada, and we had a discussion, but we decided we did not want to cancel this business trip. We felt that would be caving into what the terrorists were all about. Okay. So we kept our trip and went to Manhattan, but many of my friends are going, well, tell us what it's like. And I was actually, I went down to the World Trade site, which was still smoking. Yeah. It was very disconcerting. At night, you'd see the rats coming out.
Oh, my goodness.
It was pretty distressing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it was. But to be there, to pick up the smells, what was going on. So I wrote something about it and just emailed it out to people, my friends. And I got such positive response about, well, thanks for telling us what it was like. And next time you go somewhere, would you write another piece?
Write a book. Let's take a break there. I think we're about out of this segment. I can't see you very well back there because of the light today. But let's take a break here, and we'll come back for more Old Tales of Nevada, past and present.
Everything is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds. All jewelry is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds.
Come to Precision Diamonds. I'll fix your jewelry just like new.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, we at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988. So ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle, we're the biker's bike shop.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Paula. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antique Show, now at the Reno Sparks Convention Center.
We also want you to know about our everyday location at Somewhere in Time, Antique Antiques, Space 46.
You'll find items from local artists, retro, mid-century, rustic, sports, collectibles, antiques, and much more.
You'll find Nevada art, glass, Native American jewelry, and baskets, unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques at Somewhere in Time, Dealer 46.
Here's a sale you can't miss. Carpenter's Music World will push, pull, or drag your old broken down trade-in piano to their store for free. Then they will sell you a new or quality pre-owned piano at once-in-a-lifetime savings with discounts in the amount of sales tax too. Then Carpenter's will deliver the piano to your home for free. It doesn't get any better than that. Unlock your musical potential. Shop the push, pull, or drag sale now through October 31st only at Carpenter's Music World, 1090 Kitsky Lane in Reno. It's the best of the Old West at the 65-room Victorian-style Silverland Inn and Suites in Virginia City. Mountain high and city close, a great place for your next holiday party, seminar, reunion, anniversary, retreat, convention, or wedding. The Silverland has everything you need: ballroom, bar, great rates, service, and more. Only 22 miles from Reno. There is even transportation from Reno to Virginia City available on request. Call 847-4484 today.
We're back here in Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. We're talking with Robin Holabird. Am I pronouncing that right?
Holabird.
Holabird, okay.
Holabird.
And she has been an important part of Northern Nevada in a lot of different ways with the movies and bringing a lot of economic impact to Northern Nevada, which we all appreciate. And we also appreciate her show on KUNR that I'm sure a lot of people have listened to on a regular basis, right?
Oh yeah, I get a lot of feedback. And as a movie reviewer, sometimes your take on things isn't the same as somebody else's. So some people will say, well, I never agree with you, but at least I know that way which movies to see or not.
There you go. That's good.
That's fine.
Well, that's right.
Yeah,
there used to be
a few
another
things
one.
are bad. I don't want to go to them.
Yeah, we used to have another reviewer in town. He used to be on TV. It was he's a professor over
Howard Rosenberg. Yeah,
Howard Rosenberg. Yeah. Now he was someone that I would probably disagree with on a lot of his takes, but again,
And Howard would tell you the same thing. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
If I love it, that means you probably won't. If I hate it, it means you probably will. It's a good guide.
Yeah, right.
It works.
Sure.
No, but not to get too far off the subject, but there's so many movies I see previews of, and I
tough.
say, why would you even waste your money producing something like that? I mean, they're so out of the mainstream weird themes and so on. That's our mascot, by the way, lady. She
knows about one of my travel things, which is having mascots, and we might get into that a little later. But it looks like she's thinking about it right now.
Right.
Why would you make a movie? Because it's an artistic or chance to make money, and it's a glamorous industry. It's why would you want to start a sports team or all of that? It's a career that a lot of people do want to pursue, a form of expression. Just like why did people want to write books?
Yeah,
because
that's
there's
true.
so many books out there, and here I am.
You're writing a
with
book.
a book I wrote.
But I mean, for a movie to produce any kind of movie,
It's very
expensive. So
Absolutely.
I mean, I can't imagine most of those movies making money.
Most don't. And
Most don't. Yeah. So they make it, and then you don't hear from those people anymore. But I guess for the actors, it's a good gig because they get the exposure, and if they're any good, they pick them up on a better movie and a better producer, director.
Usually there's some group of people who do get paid during the movie, whether or not it makes money.
Yeah.
That's the kind we would take in Nevada. We didn't take movies that weren't paying the people.
Exactly.
You got to be paid.
Okay.
So that's why movies are expensive. People do get paid making them. It's a credit. It may be good. There are a lot of niche markets, a lot of different marketing ways now. Streaming is one of them. So if you have some of the streaming services, you'll be able to see the major release with Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Al Pacino called The Irishman. You'll be able to watch it on your small screen
Already?
at home.
Yeah. Wow, how
in
about
just
that?
a few weeks. Even
So is
though
there
it's-
always going to be movie theaters, you think, or is there going to
They're evolving. That's
They're
why
evolving.
we're seeing the luxury lounges, the theaters that serve you ice cream and wine,
Yeah, I
and
know.
make it something a little more special. And also, those big screens do make a difference for some types of movies.
Yeah, for
if you
sure.
want to watch the Star Wars franchise or the Marvel and DC
Yeah.
comic special effects
Yeah,
laden
it just doesn't
movies,
work on a small screen.
They're better
Yeah.
on a big
Yeah,
screen.
for sure, for
Hey,
sure. And then,
Robin, has the state stayed up with trying to work on getting movies made here as they did when you were involved in that? Did they hire somebody else? Or?
Well, there is an office in Las Vegas and that does a lot of work and brings projects in. Nevada has some issues with the industry. We don't have as strong an incentive program as some other states.
I'm trying to remember the name of the lieutenant governor after Hammergren.
Lorraine Hunt was very
Lorraine
active.
Hunt
Lorraine
was,
Hunt.
she was a big
She was
promoter
getting into the
of.
movie deal,
Big
wasn't she?
proponent of the
Yeah,
film
in fact,
industry.
she had some acting, I think, in her background.
Yeah, well, she'd been a singer, so
Oh,
she-
a singer, that's what it
good
was, yeah.
entertainment,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
understanding that entertainment is a business and can make money for people.
Yeah.
So Nevada has a presence, but not up in Reno as much. Now the staff down in Vegas likes Reno, they know some things about it, but it's harder to promote an area when you don't have somebody, who's
on the ground.
right on site
Yeah.
and
Sure.
Yeah.
knows
So anyway, I
the ins
didn't
and
want to get
outs.
too far off there,
Yeah.
but I was curious about that. So your writing career actually started on 9/11, or having to do with 9/11.
Yeah, well, let's say I do have a journalism degree and I
Yeah.
have been writing a lot of pieces. I was editor of a magazine called Locations,
Oh, okay.
which promoted filming on locations to the film industry.
Oh.
And so through that, I traveled throughout the world, Australia and some other locations where I got to see. Well, did you know that the third iteration of Bonanza, the Ponderosa, filmed
Yeah.
in Australia?
Oh, is that right?
And I was out at that set.
You were. You must have had some great experiences then going around the world and
Yeah.
being involved with the movie industry. It's amazing. Just talking about 9/11, I hate to get off of the subject again, but I went there a couple of years ago and went down to the 9/11 site. Now they have the museum and everything else, but it's still got that aura about it. It's a very subdued
yeah.
environment. When people
is.
go there, they don't talk much.
They're quiet. I love
Very
the tree.
quiet, very respectful of trees and everything.
Well,
yeah.
the survivor tree that they
Yeah.
have, that whole special thing there.
Yeah.
And going up the tower now is a pretty amazing experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been there to do that, person should do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
It's amazing stuff. So as your retirement progressed, and you
And I forgot to retire.
Yeah, and you forgot. I think a lot of us are like that. I'm 73, and I'm probably busier now than I ever have been, but it's a fun thing. So this led to your writing of books.
The first one, Elvis, Marilyn, and the Space Aliens, is called, subtitled Icons on Screen in Nevada.
Yeah.
So it looks at the way Nevada is portrayed on screen.
Okay.
At the end of the book, there's some suggested touring of Nevada, looking for some of the film and TV sites. I
Okay.
include television as being very important. Our Western reputation is somewhat based on Bonanza, which
Yes,
was a TV show.
it is. We hear about that all the time when people come to Virginia City. They're
Exactly.
looking for the Bonanza cabin, you know.
Which is still at Incline Village.
Yeah, it's
and
still
then during my reign in Nevada, one of our most important projects was CSI. It was #1 on television for almost a decade.
Yeah, that was Vegas, right?
Yeah, it's Vegas,
Yeah.
but it's still very important to our industry, and that's
Sure.
a TV show.
Yeah.
So I count television as being very important. And I do include Around the World in 80 movies and a few TV shows. Also, I'm bad at math, and you guys are right. I think you mentioned there might be more than 80 movies in there. That's true.
That's great. That's
Keep
great.
me busy watching
Yeah,
it anyway.
yeah.
That's the
So, when you, how do the movies? You were so closely related to it, and then you write about it too, like with your first book there. How do they portray Nevada in the movies? I always thought that was kind of a negative
Well-
look at Nevada,
I'd say by and large that's true, but it's by and large true about every place because movies require drama and difficulties. So most movies are going to show some of the crime sides or whatever tension it takes.
Yeah.
And it may not be your happiest look at the area. On the other hand, that can have the opposite effect and still bring tourists in.
Sure.
CSI.
Yeah.
Every week there was 2 or 3 horrific murders in Las Vegas. And there's now a whole CSI experience at one of the casinos. Tourists come to watch it, even if they're thinking, will I fall off the roller coaster like they did in CSI? They don't think that way. They come and want to see the roller coaster.
Yeah, for sure.
We had one that might not be the most tasteful movie, Showgirls. Did a lot of filming up in our area and at what was then the Horizon Casino. And people knew it filmed there, and they went to the Horizon because they wanted to see where the movie filmed.
Isn't that something?
So that's great.
Amazing.
And that's part of what my new book deals with, is that for some people, tourism includes seeing the sights they know from what they've watched and loved on screen, whether it's a big screen or a little screen.
Sure.
And for me, it was always that way.
Yeah.
I'll go back to New York, which is actually a place I lived briefly, Long Island. I was maybe 3. And I loved dinosaurs, so I got to watch the first movie I ever saw, King Kong.
King Kong, sure.
Yep.
Empire State Building.
Loved it. Well, see, I was 3. I didn't know about the Empire State Building. A couple weeks later, my dad takes me into Manhattan to go to the Natural History Museum, where there are fossils.
Yeah,
Yay.
absolutely, yeah.
But what really just blew away my little 3-year-old brain was the Empire State Building. It was real. I knew King Kong wasn't real, but the Empire State Building.
Definitely.
And that was one of those aha moments of life.
Yeah.
You see something on screen and it actually exists.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
So that's part of what the fascination is in this book.
Yeah, so you wrote the book. It's called Around the World in 80 Movies. And so what I think what the premise of this is, like if I was going to go to England and I wanted to go to London and I wanted to, hit the most important places in that area, there are movies that we could watch. Is that what it is?
Yes, although in this case it might be developed by a theme or concept. I have a chapter called Great Expectations in London because, hey, you always have great expectations when you go somewhere. It's also a Charles Dickens story that filmed many times in London. So I mentioned that. But then I go off on one of my little tangents, which was, as a movie fan who liked horror movies, you might have gathered that with King Kong. I saw this movie once called Jack the Ripper. And it fascinated me.
Yeah.
So I went on a walking tour of
where all that happened?
Those sites. And so I do include a couple of Jack the Ripper movies, which maybe not everybody wants to watch before they go to London. And a couple of darker themed that deal with what I'm talking about.
Now, when you think about those Jack the Ripper movies, were they filmed on location?
Most of them couldn't. And one of the more recent ones with Johnny Depp actually filmed in Eastern Europe because it had more of a look. And then there's a TV series called Ripper Street, and that films in Dublin, Ireland. But I do include it. It's okay to know that, hey, at least you can watch the movie about some of the topics, what went on historically.
The story.
Some of the stories are a little accurate. You know how movies are.
It's just like Custer's Last Stand. They filmed it in Arizona or something.
Well, we mentioned Love Ranch here in Reno, and much of it filmed in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And realistically, economically, development-wise, if you're operating a brothel as a business, it's really more profitable to do that than have a movie pay you a location fee.
Yeah, for sure.
The film company can't really afford that.
Yeah. So as you travel around the world, what were some of your more favorite places and what movies connected to it? Do you have a favorite chapter in the book that?
Well, an early movie that influenced me on locations was Lawrence of Arabia. I think it's a great, great film. I actually saw it when I was 10. I can't say I understood all of it, but it fascinated me. And when I was 10, I wasn't wise enough to know what a bucket list was. But I had a bucket list. I wanted to go to where that filmed, which turns out to be the Wadi Rum in Jordan.
Okay.
I did eventually get there. I rode a camel there. It was great. And not too far from there is a place called Petra, which is another bucket list location. It should be for all of us.
Now, is Petra still intact because of ISIS?
Jordan is a little different and a little more tourism friendly than some of the other Middle Eastern companies or countries. And so if you want to see Petra, watch Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade.
And that's real fun.
When they go to find where the Holy Grail is, that's actually they're entering Petra. So look at that and say, oh, I got to go there.
Got to see it. Let me take a break here, okay? Old Tales of Nevada. We'll be right back after we hear from a couple of our great sponsors.
For over 30 years, the Book Gallery has been serving its customers with a wide selection of books, comics, and DVDs. They specialize in Western Americana, sci-fi, romance, and general fiction. Be sure to ask about their trade policy. 30 years and going strong, The Book Gallery, 1203 North Rock Boulevard in Sparks.
A proud sponsor of Old Tales of Nevada, past and present.
For our cold winter days, jackets and vests are the perfect answer. Faux fur and faux leather are the strong fabrics for this season. Team them with maxi skirts for a beautiful seasonal look. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante. The beautiful fall colors are being duplicated in the fall collection of fashions at Boutique Elegante. Sweaters are either in the crayon colors for fall or soft muted shades in bark and beige. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, we at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988. So ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle, we're the biker's bike shop.
Somewhere in Time is the place to find what will be treasured for all time. It's a huge store filled with trains and models, collectibles, art, antiques, and more. You might say they have everything under the sun. Almost. Come see it to believe it at Somewhere in Time in Reno.
Deluxe Travel, locally owned and operating since 1991, is the home for travel to Mexico and Central and South America. The crew at Deluxe Travel is bilingual, trustworthy, thorough, and caring. They will do everything possible to make your dream vacation the best it can be. Now is the time to book for winter travel, so stop by the office at 100 California Avenue or call 686-7000. You can also check us out on our website at deluxetravelLTD.com.
At Deluxe Travel, we sell dreams. Come in and plan yours.
Welcome back to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. And as we begin our third segment of the show, I'd like to reintroduce everybody. I'm John O'Brien, the host of the show. Roy Marshall with us, the executive producer, and Robin Holabird, our special guest. So having a great conversation, talking about movie history here in Nevada.
And travel.
And travel, for sure. And you have actually a couple of chapters in here about Nevada, right?
Absolutely.
Now, why would you do that? What's the chapters about? Let's focus on that.
I think Nevada is a bucket list destination.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little biased.
We agree on that, for sure.
But there actually, I had an interesting travel experience coming to Reno before I moved here. And I think Reno is a well-known destination. Plus, we have a film history. There were some movies to talk about.
Sure.
What I do is I write a travel piece, and after that, there's a capsule review or summary of some movies that filmed there. Then another thing I discovered when I was promoting the state, especially overseas, is that Burning Man, Black Rock City, is a bucket list destination for many people.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Well,
yeah.
I've been there.
I mean, all over the world, yeah.
I've been there to Burning Man in Black Rock City, so I wrote a piece about that. It's called Dust and Illusions at Burning Man. I didn't say Black Rock City because not everybody knows what Black Rock City is, but they know Burning Man.
But that's what they call it nowadays, is Black Rock City?
Well, that's the city where that gets developed with what, 50,000?
Yeah, right.
50,000, 70,000 residents for 2 weeks or so.
2 weeks, yeah. Amazing.
It is truly amazing.
Yeah.
Dust and Illusions is a movie that filmed at Black Rock, but it's a documentary. For the most part, the founders of Burning Man do not allow any commercial ventures. They did just within, since the book was written, allow a feature film to shoot there called The Girl from the Song, a Spanish movie. And Black Rock people aren't too happy about it, but you can actually stream that movie and see some of Burning Man.
Yeah, because there's things that go on there that you probably don't want. You know, what happens at the Black Rock should stay at the Black Rock.
Oh, and my appeal for it, I have been on the board of Sierra Art Foundation, and I'm a strong proponent of the arts in Reno.
Yeah.
And Burning Man is a great arts event.
It is.
Yeah. The installations in the center area are just staged beautifully. Yeah. It's a phenomenal experience.
Yeah.
And so that's more of what my piece is about, although it's hard not to notice a few naked people. And I do start the chapter with how I was taking Fred to see an art installation, and we arrive, and there are hundreds of naked people, which really is not typical, even though that's what the media says.
Yeah, that's
and
what
then
it's all
somebody calls out, "Pub crawl, naked pub crawl starts here." Fred and I are like, "Oh,
my
okay."
goodness. So hopefully you kept your clothes on, right?
Yes, the rest of the people were much happier that we kept our clothes on.
There you go.
But other things that had happened was that there were some changes in plans. My parking space had disappeared. I was planning to sleep in a CRV, but you know that Fred and I are a little large for that.
Yeah, right.
And what happens, the spirit of community that is wonderful at Burning Man is that I had temporarily parked my vehicle across at some guy's place.
Oh.
He let me stay the whole weekend.
Oh, he did?
Parked there.
Oh,
and
wow.
then another friend said, "You can't fit in your CRV," and cleared out a van, and we had a place to sleep, and all these things happened.
It's all communal. It's all communal. There's no dollars change hands for anything, right? I mean, it's you share alike.
Aside from ice, I don't think you can buy anything there.
Oh, okay.
The idea is to trade, and we did trade. Like we traded a bottle of rum for our parking place. It works fine. No, it's a wonderful spirit there, and that's what I wanted to bring across in the chapter. Then I have movies that might relate to it. For instance, there's an old Drew Barrymore movie called Far From Home that filmed out on the Black Rock Desert and in Gerlach.
Yeah.
So you can see some of what
Did
it looks like.
Did the Misfits do any filming out on that desert? They did.
They actually filmed some of the Black Rock area canyons and the wild horses there. That last scene is called Misfits Flat, and it's by Stagecoach off of Highway 50.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, and it's still there, and if you go out onto the property, you'll see some houses in the distance, but it also, you could still photograph some of those scenes.
No kidding.
The way they
Wow,
look.
I didn't realize. Stagecoach.
Stagecoach.
Wow,
Absolutely.
that's on Highway 50 right there. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I also include a little low-budget movie called Nowhere, Nevada, because some of the people in it were very active burners. It features Middlegate, which is important to Nevada.
What's Middlegate?
Middlegate is the middle of nowhere, Nevada. It's right off of Interstate 80. It's a funky place to stop on the highway, and a lot of burners stop there.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
I
and I
did not know
also include Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, because one of the big events at Black Rock Desert is Thunderdome.
I did not know that either. Yeah.
And they have on Black Rock Desert a place called Bad Idea Theater that shows really bad movies. So I have a Nevada offering. It's called The God Monster of Indian Flats. And it is about a giant sheep that terrorizes Virginia City.
I think I saw that one.
You may have seen it.
I saw that one.
Were you in that one? You were right.
No, I don't think
and
so.
I'll have to say it did not.
Eating on the Savage
Magic.
It did not win any Oscars.
I guess not.
No.
Too good.
Now, along with these movies that you recommend for people, do you offer travel tips as well in the book? In other words, to say when you go out to the Black Rock, this is what you should do or not do, or how's that work?
Not specifically, although some may have it. And I have an implied travel tip in my book, which I talk about when I give presentations about the books. And one of the things I recommend is traveling with a mascot. It's kind of like in a movie called Amelie, where a gnome goes traveling around the world. I did not base it on that, but I got my own little travel mascot,
right
which is, I call her Dee Dee for designated duck, because I bought her in the wine country, and everybody needs a Dee Dee. Well, Dee Dee has since traveled not just with me, but with other people, and has been further around the world than me.
Wow.
She was duck-napped in Chile by a homeless dog, and I think that here there's a not homeless dog that's interested in duck napping.
Yeah.
So when people, the first buyers of my book, the travel starter kit is that I'm providing your very own travel mascot.
There you go.
Which is not named. You have to decide the gender of this duck. Now, Dee Dee obviously is a girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can tell by the eyelashes for sure.
Yeah, eyelashes and pink. But you get your choice on this, and you get to name your own mascot, and then hopefully...
And what's the purpose of the mascot? What does it do for you?
I find that it's an icebreaker and door opener.
Oh.
And also, I try to photograph the mascot in an interesting, iconic location. It makes me see things a little more deeply.
Like the Travelocity gnome.
Yeah, exactly. I have a lot of fun with that.
Okay.
But the ice breaking is great. I was just in Spain I threw a euro into a bucket, and there was a mime in the square of Santiago. He thought he was going to pose with me, but no, he posed with the travel mascot and her friends. And so as I'm getting him back, the mime breaks the mime hood and says, "¿Cómo se llaman? What are their names?"
Oh,
it's funny when you get a travel mascot who makes a mime break his routine.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, I never thought about doing anything. I usually had 6 kids with me or something.
Well, that's kind of like travel mascots.
That's right.
They were
sure.
icebreakers, right?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So other than the Black Rock, you had another chapter, and what did that deal with in the book?
That was the Misfits in Reno.
Oh, the Misfits in
Reno. And
Reno.
it talks about my first trip to Reno, which was in the 1970s, when I felt pretty much like a misfit. I don't gamble or anything like that. Perez was just crammed in those days.
Yeah.
We were a booming town. A lot of cigarette smoke in the casinos. I don't smoke. So I felt kind of odd coming to Reno, but I did know the city because I'd seen the Misfits, and I talk about some of the influence that had on my life, actually about watches. I talk in the book about that. But then a couple of years later, I ended up moving to Reno because my husband had a geology job.
Right.
I figured we'd live here a couple of years and I'd be fine.
You get another job somewhere else. Huh?
Well, we kept getting jobs. I got some great jobs with the Film Commission and all those, so 40 years later, I am still in Reno, but no longer a misfit. I love it here. So that's what I write about in the book, and then recommend a few movies to watch about Reno, including the Misfits, which, of course, our town has changed a lot since then.
Oh, yeah, in the last 2 years.
But historically, it's got a lot of accurate points about
I think that's a good approach. That you take.
It is, yeah. So they watch the movie, then they make arrangements to come to Reno, and they can set up tours and various travel points that they want to stop at.
I do mention in the book and in the summary some of the places you could go. For instance, if you want to see wild horses, you can do it. You can drive up to Virginia City and see wild horses.
Actually, in our yard, where the gazebo is, every morning you can see 8 to 9 horses feeding on our grass, just like up at your house. And they keep the lawn mowed. We don't have to have a lawnmower. We just have horses out there.
And every now and then they fertilize it as well.
Well, you know what's neat, though? That people actually do travel all the way across the United States, all the way across we've had people from all over the world. And one of the things they do want to see is the wild Mustangs, horses. And they are out there with their cameras. And I'll tell you, these wild horses, they actually do wild horse things. They rear up, they're fighting one another, and you get some beautiful photographs. If you have a flair for that, you can get some beautiful photographs of those horses up there.
Yeah.
And they're very healthy.
Makes a good advertisement.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And it's a beautiful, they're beautiful horses. They're well fed. I don't know where they're getting all their feed, but
some of it from my front lawn. I think we share some. I'm down lower than Virginia City, but I see some of the same horses.
Are you in a toll road area there?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay,
we have a nice little band that's
right
coming through right now, and a young foal. It's so fun to see.
It is.
And for somebody who, what I found when I would do trade shows in London, urging people to come here, we are such a different world from Europe, and seeing something like the wild horses is very exciting. Just our western landscapes, which we still have. Go up to Pyramid Lake, which is some of where the Misfits filmed.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it is strikingly beautiful.
Yeah, the primitiveness of Pyramid Lake is amazing. Yeah, and especially if you be there at dusk, when those hills change color, and then when you're out there at night and you have that huge vista of the stars, it's amazing.
There's a movie called The Doctor with William Hurt, and they filmed there just to do what you're talking about, get the sunset scene at Pyramid Lake.
Yeah,
so
amazing.
One to add to your list, The Doctor.
All right, let's take another break here on Old Tales Nevada, Past and Present. We'll be back for our last segment right after this.
For over 30 years, the Book Gallery has been serving its customers with a wide selection of books, comics, and DVDs. They specialize in Western Americana, sci-fi, romance, and general fiction. Be sure to ask about their trade policy. 30 years and going strong, the Book Gallery, 1203 North Rock Boulevard in Sparks.
A proud sponsor of Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present.
Everything is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds. All jewelry is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds.
Come to Precision Diamonds. I'll fix your jewelry just like new.
Hey everybody, Dave Asher here down at the Nevada Marketplace in the Reno Town Mall. You know, we all spend a lot of money during the holiday season. Please, this year, shop with Nevada-based locally owned businesses as much as possible. Here at the Nevada Marketplace, we support over 250 local merchants. You're sure to find a perfect gift for everyone on your list. We're open 7 days a week with easy parking and it's warm inside. We're at the corner of Peckham and Virginia. Go to buynevadafirst.com and keep Reno local.
Somewhere in Time is the place to find what will be treasured for all time. It's a huge store filled with trains and models, collectibles, art, antiques, and more. You might say they have everything under the sun. Almost. Come see it to believe it at Somewhere in Time in Reno. Here's a sale you can't miss. Carpenter's Music World will push, pull, or drag your old broken down trade-in piano to their store for free. Then they will sell you a new or quality pre-owned piano at once-in-a-lifetime savings with discounts in the amount of sales tax too. Then Carpenter's will deliver the piano to your home for free. It doesn't get any better than that. Unlock your musical potential. Shop the push, pull, or drag sale now through October 31st only at Carpenter's Music World, 1090 Kitsky Lane in Reno.
Come to Precision Diamonds. I'll fix your jewelry just like new.
For our cold winter days, jackets and vests are the perfect answer. Faux fur and faux leather are the strong fabrics for this season. Team them with maxi skirts for a beautiful seasonal look. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante.
It's the best of the Old West at the 65-room Victorian-style Silverland Inn and Suites in Virginia City. Mountain high and city close, a great place for your next holiday party, seminar, reunion, anniversary, retreat, convention, or wedding. The Silverland has everything you need: ballroom, bar, great rates, service, and more. Only 22 miles from Reno. There is even transportation from Reno to Virginia City available on request. Call 847-4484 today.
We're back here for our last segment of Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. We have Robin Holabird. Holabird. I did so good the whole show, and then I screw it up. All right. Well, Robin's great to have you on the show. Great stories so far. And we were leaving our last segment talking about the wild horses. In Uroy's company, you had a helicopter company that actually took part in some of the roundups that we saw. Well, they weren't in the movie, but I mean, we saw some of those scenes in the movie. It was the
BLM that paid to have them rounded up.
Yeah, yeah.
We rounded up about between 10 and 20,000.
Yeah. Now they don't do that anymore. I don't think. I don't think they do helicopter.
Send them to France for horse meat.
Oh, they do. Well,
that's what they did.
Which is one of the things that's in the Misfits. I mean, there are some aspects of the Misfits that remain today. We are no longer a state with the divorce industry and other things, but the wild horses remain controversial to this day.
Absolutely. There's all kinds of associations trying to preserve them in one way or another.
Or the opposite.
Or the opposite, yeah.
Absolutely. And so what the book is saying is watch the Misfits, even though some aspects of it are not around anymore. Others are, and it gives you a little bit of grounding in something that goes on in this area.
Yeah.
When you come to see the area, and of course you can come here and just be here to have fun, to be skiing in the mountains or gambling in the casinos.
There's so many different things.
Or visiting Virginia City. There are so many things to do.
Yeah, and don't forget the hotel.
That's why we put this on the air, because we did it on radio, for 5 years?
Oh, yeah. Well, a couple of years.
Without a picture for anybody to look at. We'd
we were talking about a big fish one day.
Yeah, you were a
big fish at a Pyramid Lake, and I couldn't show it to anybody. So you already said, let's do TV.
One of the things I love about radio, yes, I don't have to comb my hair.
That's right. There you go. That's right. I love radio. I owned a radio station, and I also ran radio as a GM for 5 or 6 years too, up in Montana. So I have no problems with radio. It's the theater of the mind, like they say, It
lets you practice listening, and in our world today, listening is a very good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's why I love this show, because it's really different from a lot of shows that we see on TV today, because it's a conversation, and it's all dealing with good. positive things instead of things
Mostly
that
historical too, like
and historical.
Robin's efforts here have been
Absolutely.
historical
Yeah.
over the years.
Yeah.
And her husband too.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, as you did your work in the movie industry there, surrounded by all of these movie stars, did you ever develop any kind of personal relationship with some of the stars in the movie industry?
Yeah, it's in my book. On the cover, it says "Forward" by Taylor Hackford, who is a former head of the Directors Guild of America.
Oh, wow.
He's an Oscar-winning director. Did big hit movies like An Officer and a Gentleman and White Knight. And I met him when he was directing Love Ranch.
Yeah, yeah.
He's also married to Helen Mirren, who's a pretty big star.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so she was nice enough to help with a little bit of promotion on the book.
Yeah.
And I do see them regularly.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
cool.
that's
Now, do you find these big movie stars, they're making millions and millions of dollars per movie, right? Has the stardom ruined them as a person, or they maintain their humility? I mean, how does that play
It depends on the person,
Yeah.
and because actors are actually human, you're going to find some similarities with any field. Some
Yeah.
people start out as jerks and stay that way.
Yeah, right.
Whether they're actors or your water delivery person,
Yeah.
that's just there. People like Helen she's a wonderful person.
Down to earth, yeah.
Down to earth and very interested, truly interested in people.
Yeah.
So a person who's going to listen to what you have to say and to think about what your needs are.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you do Top Gun?
No,
Were you part of that?
I didn't need to be because it was through the military. So
Oh.
all the approval to deal with Top Gun was done by the feds in D.C. and
Okay.
run through the Fallon Naval Air Station,
Right.
which was in the first Top Gun. A lot of people don't
Right.
know that because
Yeah.
back then the Top Gun school was in San Diego.
Mhm.
But a lot of the aerial work was done out of Fallon because of less population.
Yeah, one of our shows, we were right out there in the control tower.
Yeah, isn't that
right?
great? Yeah, it's fascinating
It was
to see.
fascinating to see.
How
is
many,
right.
how many do they put through there? 16,000 a month or something like
Oh,
that.
bunch.
I don't remember what it was.
Well, at one time they did. I don't know if they
Yeah,
still
yes.
do, but
well, they're not so busy.
There is a sequel to Top Gun, and they did a scene at the South Lake Tahoe airport.
Oh.
So
Wow.
Tom Cruise was actually there very briefly. That was handled by the California Film Office.
Oh, okay, okay.
At Top Gun School now, while it is in Nevada, it largely deals with drones. So it's a different...
drones. Yeah,
it-
out in Fallon.
no, at Creech
Well,
in
down
southern
down
Nevada.
below. Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, sometimes you drive through there, you can actually see the drones.
Yeah.
Flying and landing and doing their whatever
But
out
Top
there.
Gun 2 took a long time to get off the ground, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so
Well, it's
it will
so
be in
expensive, right? I mean, what's the type? Oh, somebody has a concept for a movie, right? And it's a big name movie. Let's say it has a big producer, big thing. What's kind of the ballpark frame of concept to completion for a big movie?
Well,
big
it depends
movie?
on the level of special effects and locations. So in my day, if you had a budget with $20 million, we were all happy. Well, that will hardly get you anywhere now.
Pays for the star,
$70 million is sort of average. And then, of course, these special effects laden movies can be hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have the cost of promoting your movie, and there's so many other things that can
go into it. Yeah, but time frame from you get a call from Hollywood. We're thinking about a movie about say Top Gun, whatever it is.
I had that phone call years ago, and
Yeah.
it took all this time.
It takes all that time to
Yeah.
get there, so it can go 10 years sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rain Man was one of those movies. I think our office worked with it under 4 or 5 different directors. This is back in the 80s.
Yeah.
But Steven Spielberg was associated with it, Sidney Pollack, Martin Brest. Eventually
Yeah.
it went to Barry Levinson and it won Best Picture.
Yeah.
But it took all that time.
All that time, because people will be exposed to the concept, I guess, and they take it out and try to sell it to the producers, sell it to the directors, and they say yay, nay.
And an actor is available, then not
Not
available.
available.
A movie I worked on, Hard 8, with the P.T. Anderson movie I mentioned, he really wanted an unknown actress who he had signed to it, but then she took a role in France, so he delayed the movie for a whole year for Gwyneth Paltrow, that unknown actress, who he thought was really good. And he wanted her for that movie, and he was willing to delay the movie for a solid year.
Now, Gwyneth is the daughter of a rather famous...
Bruce Paltrow, a producer,
Oh, producer, okay. I know she was in the industry there somewhere, somehow.
And her mother is Blythe Danner, who's a well-known actress.
Oh, okay, very good. So now that you have written this book, right, and this goes on sale when?
It's on sale now.
Oh, it's on sale now. Okay, very good.
Basic outlets, you can find it.
Okay, like Amazon and at the local bookstores.
Sundance locally.
Sundance, because they are big on local.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, they go out of the way, and we'd like to promote our local authors as well. What's your next project?
Well, we're talking movies, so of course I have to have a sequel. Around the World in 80 more movies.
80 more movies.
80 more movies. And it will have a chapter on Las Vegas.
Oh, super.
And do you think I should do a ghost hunt in Tonopah?
Tonopah or in Virginia City, actually.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about that.
We have a group coming up to Virginia City, and they're going to rent like 43 rooms in November for some kind of big ghost convention up there.
Oh, wow.
In Virginia City. So it's a big industry up there.
It's definitely a good place for it.
Absolutely.
Well, when I was staying at the Mizpah, I bumped into some people. I was staying up on the 5th floor where the lady in red is supposed to be.
Oh.
And they were ghost hunters. They were Harley riding ghost hunters, and they had a cell phone app to find ghosts. So they're up wandering around the 5th floor, and I just joined the ghost hunt. It was pretty interesting.
You know, it's funny up there at the hotel, being up there more than I ever was before. Guests come in, and there's two sides to the tourists. Some tourists want to be involved with that ghost thing, and then there are other tourists don't want any part of it, you know. And that's why they stay at our hotel, because we don't have any so-called ghost, running around the hallways there. At least that
you're aware of.
Aware of at the moment.
But who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, right. So it's kind of interesting to see how people look at that. But that definitely part of Nevada, right?
Absolutely.
And then the divorce industry is another part of Nevada, right? Reno was huge on that.
Yeah.
So.
And then we have become much more of an arts community, and I mentioned Black Rock Desert in the book, but we also have a lot of art from the playa in Reno now, and tourists are coming to look at those artworks.
Well, 4th Street, West 4th Street, where that new developer is, and I think he has something. Didn't he have something to do with industry too, with movies and so on?
I got a friend over there that putting them together in the beer place over there.
Over our good friend. I can't remember his name.
So we can be Nevada,
Hobson.
the state of ghosts and art.
Yeah. So 4th Street is going to have a corridor there, which is going to show a lot of that artwork. At the Black Rock.
Which I think is great.
Yeah. Well, we have about a minute left. Tell us again how can they obtain a copy of this? This is her book, Around the World in 80 Movies and or more. And the sequel is yet to come. But you can buy this at the local stores, Amazon, any place. $24.95. Did I see on the?
I think it's $22.95. But by the time you pay tax, it'll be just under $25.
Okay, $22.95 plus
I like that picture you have on the front.
Oh, thank you. That's
right here.
a photographer in town, Lou Manna, took that.
All in four color.
With pictures of mascots
paperback
on it as well.
There you go. So thank you so much for
Great to be here.
being with us again on our
and
come back for us when you do your next project.
We'll talk about ghost hunting in Virginia City with Around the World in 80 more movies.
All right. So thank you so much, Robin. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, the audience, for being with us again this week. And we want to invite you back next week for another episode of Old Tales Nevada, Past and Present. In the meantime, for Robin, for you, Roy, and myself, John O'Brien, have a great Nevada day, and we'll see you next week.
Under blue Nevada sky, with a hot sun in his eye, Hugh Roy walked the elk and wild horse trail. Studied earth and sand, with a shovel in his hand.